What's going on? What's going on, you boys? Your boy Steve Smith in the building. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Steve Smith in the building, and today let's break down the breaking news that sent one of the best young safeties in football, if not the best young safety in football today, in Jamal Adams from the New York Jets to my Seattle Seahawks for our first-round picks in the next couple of seasons, as well as a third-round pick 2 years from now, in addition to solid but unspectacular safety Bradley McDougald. I think that a lot of people aren't really looking at the fact that we're also receiving a fourth-round pick 2 years from now, and so I think that kind of helps to negate the blowback or some of the damage that we take, and also dealing out a third-round pick in exchange for 2 first-round picks for arguably the best safety in football in Jamal Adams. But before I get into that, if you guys haven't already, please show me some love. Hit the subscribe button for me. Leave a like, drop a comment, and let me know in the comments below. Was this a good move for the Seattle Seahawks? Was this a bad move for the Seattle Seahawks? Or was this a good move for the New York Jets? Or was this a bad move for the New York Jets? Let's get right into it. So, does the acquisition of Jamal Adams make the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl contenders heading into 2020-2021? The simple answer, yes, 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 and yeah. That was the total number of sacks that Jamal Adams had last season as a member of the New York Jets, 6.5 en route to his first-team All-Pro performance at the end of the season. Matter of fact, his 6.5 sacks would have led our team by 2.5. Our lead sack getter was Rasheem Green with 4, and if Jamal Adams was on our team last season, a strong safety would have led the team in sacks. And one would ask, how does a team that finished dead last in the NFC in sacks with 28, as well as a team that ranked 22nd in points allowed last season, as well as 26th in yards allowed, which are the worst marks in Seattle since Pete Carroll took over in 2010. Why does the acquisition of Jamal Adams make the Seahawks Super Bowl contenders with a defense that was as bad as it was last season? First of all, Jamal Adams, not only was he a first-team All-Pro last season, he led all DBs in sacks with 6.5, as well as pressures. Jamal Adams is #1 amongst all DBs since coming into the NFL in 2017 as a rookie, in sacks with 11, in hits with 11, in hurries with 27, as well as pressures with 49. This guy's an absolute beast, a game wrecker. I understand he's an in-the-box safety, but I think that his versatility is very underrated. He could play in the box, he could play as a coverage cornerback, he could play as an edge rusher. You can literally do anything with him on defense, and with Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks, they know a thing or two about Hall of Fame caliber and superstar caliber safeties in the secondary, like Earl Thomas, for example, Cam Chancellor, for example. And so I think that with Jamal Adams, he'll definitely help to boost the defense that was amongst the worst in football last season. 26th in yards allowed, 22nd in points allowed, 2 of the worst marks since Pete Carroll first arrived, as I mentioned earlier. Jamal Adams, he's been the second ranked safety according to Pro Football Focus in the last couple of seasons with a grade mark of 91.0. As I mentioned earlier, he was a first-team All-Pro last season. He was a second-team All-Pro the year before that with 115 combined tackles. A lot of people will point out to the fact that he's not very much of a ball hawk. He only has 2 career interceptions, 1 coming last season and then 1 coming the year before that. But I think that in Seattle, with Pete Carroll and the rest of the defensive coaches, as good as they are in coaching up guys in the secondary, I think that the one weakness, albeit a small one, in Jamal Adams' game will be rectified and will be addressed in Seattle. We still have Bobby Wagner, the best linebacker in football. We drafted Jordan Brooks in the first round, arguably the best linebacker in college football the last 4 seasons. He's been a force. KJ Wright had a career high in tackles last season. John Reed, he'll be coming back, hopefully fully healthy. He won't have a suspension to deal with Poona Ford. He's shown lots of promise. We brought back Bruce Irvin. We drafted a couple of guys in Darrell Taylor. We drafted Alton Robinson. So we have some guys coming in to help hopefully address pass rush. Like I mentioned earlier, was dead last in the NFC last season with 28. Adams, he doesn't only help in coverage, he helps us in the pass rush. You're talking about a guy who's one of 2 players in NFL history, along with J.J. Watt, to have accumulated 200+ tackles, 10+ sacks, and 25 breakups in their first couple of years. No one else has done that, and the history of the NFL is a pretty rich one. And so I think that when Jamal Adams is on a pretty exclusive list such as the one that I just mentioned, I think that that points to the fact that he's one of the best defensive players in football. What I don't like about this deal is the fact that we're gonna have to pay him top of market money sometime between now and next offseason. I think that it was a part of the agreement that he didn't have to come to an agreement with the Seattle Seahawks on a contract extension, and so we don't have to worry about a contract extension until next offseason, which I think will help to alleviate some headaches and potential concerns going into this season. Obviously, I think this shuts down the door for Jadeveon Clowney return, but the fact that Jamal Adams' extension is going to wait until next offseason, I think that if we bring Clowney back on a one-year deal, it's still very feasible. Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown. I think that the acquisition of Jamal Adams could be the first of many domino pieces to fall in regards to who else will bring onto the team from now until the season begins. And with Jamal Adams, he brings that superstar presence to Seattle that we've been lacking since the Legion of Boom days were over. Now you pair him up with Quandre Diggs, who had 3 picks in only 5 games last season as a member of the Seattle Seahawks. I think that gives us one of the better duos at safety in the NFL. If Quentin Dunbar is able to play, and you combine Shaquille Griffin's first Pro Bowl season last year, I think that gives us one of the best secondaries in football. Definitely a LOB 2.0. I don't think it matches up to the original LOB, but I think an LOB 2.0 would dramatically and drastically help a pass rush that badly needs it, as evidenced by last season's 28th ranked finish in the NFC. Even before the acquisition of Jamal Adams, I think that there was nowhere to go but up. Our defense was so bad last season that even Pro Football Focus had them ranked dead last when ranking defenses going into next season. You also look at the fact that Russell Wilson, he never asks for superstars. He never asks for help, but this offseason he made it very known that he wanted Seattle to bring in superstar help. I mean, look, we don't really draft that well anyway. In the earlier part of the decade, we were trading our first round picks for guys like Percy Harvin, Sheldon Richardson, Jimmy Graham, and last offseason we traded for Jadeveon Clowney. And so John Schneider and Pete Carroll and them boys, they know what they're doing when it comes to trading those draft picks away. I think that going back to what I was saying about Russell Wilson, he's never really asked for superstar help. And right now he's in the prime of his career. He's coming off a second-team All-Pro award last season. He was in the MVP race up until Lamar Jackson kind of took it and ran with it. I think after Week 7, when the Baltimore Ravens came into Seattle and killed us, essentially. With the trade for Jamal Adams, I think that makes Russell Wilson a very happy man. You look at our offense heading into next season, we're expected to have one of the most explosive offenses in football. You look at what happened last season in terms of what derailed us. Not only did injuries derail us, obviously we had a terrible defense and we had an over-reliance on Russell Wilson, but with bringing Jamal Adams into the fold, he'll definitely help to prop up a defense that was among the worst in football. I don't think this makes us one of the best defenses in football just yet, but I think that, as I mentioned earlier, this could be the first domino to fall in regards to who else we'll bring in. Who knows? Maybe we trade or we sign Everson Griffin. Cameron Wake is still on the market. It's very unlikely, but we can also bring back Jadeveon Clowney. You get a safety like Jamal Adams, as versatile as he is, as good as he is, as young as he is. He's only 24 years old, and so I think that if our seasons are as successful as we think that they're going to be in the next couple of seasons, we're essentially trading early second rounders or first round picks in the 30s. And I understand that you still need first round picks no matter how late they are to help fortify, certain weaknesses on your team, to help address certain weaknesses, as usually Super Bowl teams don't have very much cap space. And so they look to the draft to kind of help alleviate for the fact that they can't sign guys in free agency. I just think that for Seattle, yes, we have a few holes, but Jamal Adams, as versatile as he is, he helps to cover up a lot of those holes. Once again, we have an enforcer, we have a thumper in the secondary. That'll bring us back to the Cam Chancellor days. He'll be very much intimidating against especially guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff. Kyler Murray's still a young quarterback. The first step is, as my buddy, my partner in crime, my brother, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, DJ Squabo, DJ Squabo, link will be in the description. As he brought up, the name of the game is to win the division. And we got to start off by defeating the San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals in the best division in football in the NFC West. That's it for today, folks. And if you haven't already, please show me some love. Hit the subscribe button for me. Subscribe to my brother, my partner in crime, DJ Squabo. We'll be collabing real soon. Be sure to check out his Jamal Adams video, as well as my other partner in crime at NorbCam. His Jamal Adams video is taking off right now. And so, Steezy out.